The SALT cap, SALT stands for state and local taxes. Before the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, you were able to deduct basically an unlimited amount of state and local taxes. So property taxes, state income taxes, local municipality taxes, if you paid those, you were able to deduct an unlimited amount of those as part of your itemized deduction calculation. Well, there were people that argued that really high income tax states were being subsidized by the federal government because, if you lived in California, they pay a pretty high income tax. Well, if they were able to pay to California against what they would owe federally, there were a lot of people that felt that was subsidizing these higher income tax states. Okay. It's a political argument, but the math was debated, and essentially the SALT cap came to fruition during the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. But the problem was the cap was set to $10,000. And the unintentional side effect of that was that a lot of people who earned high incomes and, had nice homes in other states ended up getting hit by the cap of $10,000, because $10,000, yes, it's not a small chunk of money, but when you start thinking about what someone who's a high earner may pay in state income taxes and their property taxes, that actually impacted a lot of people. So the jury was always kind of a mixed message here, at least from my seat on the SALT cap, because we saw people benefit from it, and we definitely saw people that were impaired by it, where they ended up actually having to pay a little bit more in taxes maybe than they would have under the old code. Well, they debated this, and the reps in the higher income tax states won, at least temporarily, right? So I think that's a key theme that goes through this entire bill. There are a lot of provisions in here that are temporary, and this is one of them, where they increased that from $10,000 up to $40,000 per return. And so this is going to be effective from 2025 through 2029. But if you've been getting capped by the SALT cap, you've got a temporary room in here where you're going to have a much higher cap of up to $40,000. So again, I believe this presents you an opportunity for tax planning, where you may be able to have higher deductions or itemized deductions in these years, which may reduce your tax bill. What can you do with that added room? Again, it's going to be temporary, but I think that it could definitely benefit some higher income households that have been getting hit by the SALT cap.